Canada has a new food guide. It's the first update in more than a decade. There's less emphasis on milk, more of a focus on fruits and vegetables. It's all an attempt to redefine healthy eating. Ellen Doyle is a registered dietitian, and we find her here in the fruits and vegetables section today. And I guess a good thing, timing works out for this story indeed, because the new food guide really highlights fruits and vegetables, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
What do you make of that?
Day. I think it's great. You know, this new food guide really gives us a lot more in terms of practical tips. So we're looking at half of our plate as vegetables and fruit, a quarter protein and a quarter grains. So I think it's a lot more applicable to how we are eating and what makes sense in how we can eat.
And why do you think that is? Because they used to have the food groups in the old guide, and now you see a plate and it's broken off into a half and 2 quarters.
Yep, so it's a lot more inclusive. I don't know how much we really used the old food guide and the rainbow. Great for schools teaching kids about nutrition and drives a lot of policy as well. But in terms of practical use, it wasn't really something that Canadians could use.
Gone is the large reference, I guess, to dairy products, for example. There used to be a glass of milk in there. They're saying now better drink water. So that's kind of a change that people would look at. What do you think of that for change?
Yeah, so I think, you know, it's definitely a positive change. We all need to drink more water. Water is very important to our health. And dairy is not gone, it's just shaped differently. So we still have it. Dairy products are in that protein section of that plate. So whatever people choose to have, you know, if you still want that glass of milk, can fit in perfectly.
Okay, tell me about in terms of cost. It's always, you know, to eat healthy, people will say it can cost more than to eat otherwise. With this food guide, is it any cheaper to eat following this food guide than it is the old one?
You know, I think it's very similar, and I think when we look at having these healthier choices, it can definitely add up in cost, but there's a lot of options out there. So we can look at frozen or canned vegetables and fruit, can add into that half a plate. A lot of those plant proteins that are kind of a new emphasis in this guide are very affordable as well. So looking at having more lentils and chickpeas and nuts and butters, those things can be really great.
Is this going to take a bit of a mind shift for people in some ways? Do you think it's the kind of thing that people will gravitate toward and say, okay, I get it now, I'm going to eat healthier?
You know, I hope that it's easier for people. I hope that they see that visual and can connect it a bit better, but I also really like the new messaging that comes along too. So cooking more at home, eating mindfully, enjoying meals together, those are areas that I really hope Canadians can grasp onto.
Okay, tell me about that. Enjoying food is one thing, enjoying a meal together with other people, how does that help your health?
Yeah, so there are studies to show that when we eat together, we make better choices. So if you think about eating on your own, a lot of times people are running through a drive-through, you might be having a sandwich quickly at your desk while you're checking emails, but when we take the time to sit down, we've usually prepared something. We talk about items in our day, so it really helps to slow down that eating process and really bring families together.
Here's the next question. Any tips on how to make time in people's day to make those healthy meals at home?
Yeah, so that's something that we talk about a lot as retail dietitians here in the grocery store. It really takes planning. You can't just end up at home and not know what you're going to make, so I do encourage people to think of a couple of meals that they'll make at home that week. And if you're new to cooking, just start small. So start with one meal or one supper that week and kind of build it from there.
How do you think this is going to go over?
I hope it will be good. So far I've heard really great feedback. I do think because it's so inclusive, you can really make it how you see fit. A number of diets can fit within this pattern of healthy eating. And at the end of the day, it's simply a guide. So if you do need that personalized advice, that's what registered dietitians are here for, to help you personalize that to your own needs.
Well, it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You hungry yet, Amy?
I am. I should have gotten you to pick up a few things for me at the store while you were there.
For you.
Next time.
Tonight's newsmaker.
All right, thanks.